Okay, so you may have noticed in the past that I've done quite a few videos based on creature designs, and it's just mainly because I've been always fascinated with the idea of creatures, mythological creatures in movies and TV shows and even video games. I've always been fascinated by creatures that are kind of supernatural, and I've noticed kind of a new trend, a recurring trend that's been happening with movies and TV shows and video games. And that, of course, is the kind of the revamp of dragons, which is absolutely wonderful. I want to ask you guys a question. How do you guys like your dragons? Okay, and I'm going to elaborate on this question. I'm going to add a little bit more layers to this question. I'm going to add a bit more details to this question. We've seen dragons, of course, in the likes of Game of Thrones, and these beautiful, wonderful dragons that are beautifully rendered with CGI, and they look absolutely incredible on the big screen, and they just look wonderful on a TV budget. We've also seen, of course, a dragon in Pete's Dragon, of course, the remake, which was released just last year, and of course, animated franchise How to Train Your Dragon also has brought dragons to more of a popular trend these days. And I just want to ask you guys, how do you guys like your dragons? So do you like your dragons that are kind of more animal-like, more wild, kind of creatures that can't be tamed? Or do you like your dragons that are more intelligent, more human-like intelligence, more human-like kind of motivations? Like a dragon that can speak English. Do you like those type of dragons? Let's look into this subject, this concept. Now, we've seen kind of these wilder, kind of untamable dragons in the likes of Game of Thrones, and these are wonderful to see because these are type of dragons that are able to hunt. They have this kind of majesticness about them because they're solid in terms of they don't speak our language, but of course they have this intelligence about them as well, that they can understand a great deal of what the characters are saying. And it's really interesting seeing that they can develop a loyalty with the human characters, and they have a definition of what is wrong and what's right, which is really interesting as well. And that makes for such a wonderful dragon, actually, I think. We've also seen kind of that kind of more animal-like dragon in How to Train Your Dragon. And of course, we've seen the wonderful Toothless, the dragon, of course, in that franchise. And of course, we see the relationship between him and Hiccup, the main character. And we see that Toothless is this wild, untamable character, but we see that he eventually bonds with Hiccup, and they eventually form a friendship, and they form a bond, and they become like almost in sync with each other. And that's really interesting, seeing that kind of character dynamic, that human and dragon character dynamic. But we've also seen a lot of well-established actors voice dragons in the past. We've seen the likes of Gary Oldman play a dragon in the Legend of Spyro franchise. And the Legend of Spyro franchise was kind of a reboot of the Spyro series way back in the 90s. And he himself plays his dragon. He voices a dragon as kind of more a mentor-like character towards Spyro. So he plays kind of a father-like figure. And that's really interesting seeing him bring his vocals to a dragon-like character. We've also seen the late Christopher Lee play a dragon in, of course, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland way back in 2010. And Christopher Lee was known for having such an incredible voice. So having him voice a dragon was just, while it was brief, it was still incredible. It was just incredible, the idea of Christopher Lee, a guy who was known for that incredible voice that he had, playing a dragon. It was just wonderful. We also seen, of course, one of the best things from Scotland, and one of the best James Bond, in my opinion, Sean Connery, voiced a dragon in Dragonheart, and I gotta say that was a match made in cinematic heaven. Just hearing Sean Connery's vocals voicing a dragon was just absolutely perfect. We've also had, of course, the late and the brilliant John Hurt voice of Dragon in, of course, BBC's Merlin, playing a kind of a wise mentor-like character.
Now you will face the consequence
really
of that
interesting and
decision.
really
Camelot's
fun
end
to
is
see,
nigh,
because
and
John
there's
Hurt always
nothing
had
you
this
can do about
majestic
it.
voice about him. He had this
promise to free you,
wonderful,
and I
kind of
will.
kindly, wise voice about him that had this kind of sense of maturity, this sense of wisdom about it, and his voice was just perfect for a dragon. And I'm so glad that we actually seen that happen. We've also seen dragons come off in more of a sinister form in the Hobbit trilogy, in which we've seen Benedict Cumberbatch play Smaug in The Hobbit, the second installment, and the third installment. And I gotta say, his performance as Smaug is one of the best things about that trilogy, and he brought so much character to that CGI dragon, so much character. It's such an intense and sinister dragon, and his voice was absolutely perfect for the part. It was so perfect. So guys, I'm gonna ask you once more, how do you guys like your dragons? Based on my own detailed explaining on concept, how do you like your dragons? I myself, I've always preferred dragons that come off as intelligent, dragons that have come off like almost a super intelligent type creature, a creature that is even above kind of human intelligence, a creature that has been around for so long that they've picked up years and decades, even not centuries of knowledge that they have. Because I always picture dragons as these type of creatures that have been around for years, creatures that have a long lifespan and have learned so much in this lifespan. And I've always pictured dragons as those type of creatures. And that's why I love the idea of a dragon voiced by an amazing kind of actor, a well-established actor who's just known for their great and perfect vocals. Don't get me wrong, I adore the dragons in Game of Thrones. I love those dragons. They look great and they have this wonderful loyalty about them, and they have this wonderful, I love the concept of them being wild, and they have this kind of freedom about them, and I love all that concept behind it. But I myself, I love dragons that come off as more intelligent, more human-like intelligence, and that's how I like my dragons. But I'd like to hear how you like your dragons. Please put in the comment section below. Do you like your dragons more animal-like, or do you like them with a kind of a wise, more human-like kind of mindset? How do you guys like your dragons? Put down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see.